Go then. Hey! That was your way. Go on, go and put the
Could be a single parent going through a difficult time, possibly a bereavement or a health issue.
You're poking your tongue out.
They could be mum and dad, 2 kids, somebody who's going through a divorce, families where they are struggling to cope.
Miranda says, all the houses look the same. It's a job to tell them apart.
Having somebody who is choosing to give up their time to come and meet you
You all right? Yeah, how you doing? Yeah.
in the place where you feel most comfortable is the most powerful thing.
And I think a seagull says something like, tweet, 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 tweet.
4You equips the local church to train volunteers to support families in their communities, families that maybe are isolated, lonely, vulnerable.
You know, I said I'd go on to anxiety medication.
Yeah.
I've got another appointment.
Our model is based on building relationship so that somebody can actually realise what it is about their own life that they want to do differently.
Like I have an open post for like 3 weeks, and I know Ian paid the gas bill.
It's not about doing it for the family, but it's about helping them to help themselves. I would love to see a 4You in every major town and city across the country.
Hello, I'm home.
When I look at my own community where I live and I see the need in my community, I know that that is mirrored in communities up and down the country.
What colour are the peas?
Green.
Green, good boy.
Do you want to see a difference in your area? Do you want to see a difference in your community? Do you want to see families transformed? And if you do, and you're sat there thinking, but I've got no idea where to start, then come along and be part of this journey.
Got you! Got you! Got you! Got you! Got you! Got you! Got you!
Isolation and loneliness can be a really frustrating and challenging thing in people's lives. A lot of older people really worry during the week about different things, whether it's the fear of crime or maybe they might be concerned about relationships in the family. The Link Visiting Scheme started in 1998 to visit and befriend isolated older people. There's all sorts of ways that befriending can impact older people. It can reduce depression and improve mental health as people get to know other people. A lot of the older people that we've come across are really keen to engage in new activities and events. We do bowls clubs, there's a singing group that's just started up, all sorts of outings. What we're trying to do is to arrange additional projects that help them engage with other people on a regular basis. It's a very simple, straightforward model, really. Anyone can go in and have a cup of tea or coffee with an older person. What we do is we give training about some of the things that they might be facing. I'd like to see every village, town, city in the country eventually having some kind of visiting and befriending project that's run with local churches and that can really help to change the lives of older people.
Parish nursing is a way of offering whole-person healthcare through a local faith community.
Hello. Hi, Brian. It's Maggie.
It's a way of adding to whatever can be offered through the health services.
June, how are you? Good morning.
Healthcare is about much more than injections and drugs and going to the doctors even. Healthcare is about reassurance and spending time with people.
You know this
The nurse can offer to pray with the client or the patient.
so much.
The people that we go and see aren't always ill in bed. They're often quite healthy people. They may have an anxiety about an upcoming hospital appointment.
So they gave you the appropriate antibiotics.
They may have had some advice which they're not sure about. They may just be in a muddle, basically.
He's been all right. He hasn't been sick, has he?
He hasn't been sick yet. He hasn't had him.
Parish nurses don't do the invasive kind of care because those are available and done through the NHS. The nurses are employed or appointed by the church. It can be a volunteer role, it can be a paid role. We provide the initial training. It's about a week. That's available 2 or 3 times a year. We have so many more churches in the UK than we have health clinics or GP surgeries. And I'd just love to see every church involved in health ministry of some kind. Jesus said that he had come to bring people life in all its fullness. And that's what parish nursing is about. I just want to see more nurses take it up. I want to see more churches get involved. As a result of all that, I want to see people find life in all its fullness.
There is more prevalence of severe mental health issues in our communities. 1 in 4 people with the diagnosed mental illness, and then lots of other people with depression, anxiety. Renew Wellbeing is a place where it is okay to come and not be okay. People are not just their mental health label, they're full of the gifts and talents that God has made them to have. And so the Renew space was to help people find those strengths. It's co-produced activities. It's not the people from the church thinking off the hobbies. It's whatever people bring with them that is their strength. And the beauty is in connecting to find that and then learning new things like colouring in, card making, we've had origami, we've had stone painting, there's music involved. Also then having the mental health team available to ask advice when you didn't feel able to go and sit in a clinical place, but you did want to talk to somebody. For a church to set up a Renew space, you'd need 2 people, 2 hours a week. That's your minimum. A church would need to be aware that they also are broken and they're not going out there to fix the mentally ill people, but that actually we're all broken people. We're all on a sliding scale of mental well-being. My dream? A network, a web of well-being spaces across a nation. Why would every church not want a quiet shared space where it's okay not to be okay?
Street Angels is a very simple idea. People who care about other people going out into the streets and doing just that. We meet at 9 o'clock and we'll just wander the streets, looking out for people, whether they're visiting the theatre, whether they're out clubbing, whether they're working in the town centre. For people who are lying in the gutter, covered in sick and whatever else. It's actually picking them up, carrying back to our Safe Place cafe, cleaning them up, getting them to a state where they can get into a taxi and getting them home. We have a fantastic team of volunteers who commit to this week in, week out, who give up their weekends for the sake of others. Halifax was known as a place where thousands of people would descend every Friday and Saturday night. There'd be binge drinking, violence, sexual assaults, lots of underage drinking, and really the town centre had become a no-go area for the majority of people. We've learnt lots over the last 5.5 years, and in our first year in Halifax Town Centre, violent crime was reduced by 42%. And it was great that the police and the council and other agencies said it's because Christians who care are out on the streets of our town actually doing something, putting their faith into action and making a difference. The thing that makes it worthwhile for me is the people that we help, and the people that come back to say thank you. The young girl that we pick up age 14 who then comes back 4.5 years later to say, because of you my life got sorted and I'm now gone to university and I'm a better person because of the help that you gave.
When you go out and you meet someone and they're extremely vulnerable, their friends have left them, or their drinks have been spiked, or they're in a gang and they want to get out, and you are spending time with them to say, I don't mind who you are, I don't care what you believe, I don't care how you look, I don't care how you dress, I want to stay with you until someone comes to pick you up, I want to make sure that you get home, or I want to make sure that you find an exit strategy for this, because you know something, I care for you.
Pray for me, I can't get home.
A street pastor is someone from a local church who goes on the street between 10 and 4 o'clock in the morning to care, to listen, and to help people.
We walked up the other side of the road, right, with his Jack Russell come back.
So what we do, we equip people by training them to serve people on the streets.
There are some 13-year-olds who are also...
You could be 90 years of age or you could be 18. We give you all the tools so that you can be effective in serving your community.
We have
It's not about the amount of people you talk to or help. The fact you could spend all night with one person, that's enough. That's it. That is what you're there to do.
It's not enough for you. There's too many people looking down on people.
Because making people feel valued is far more important than you call the ambulance 20 times. I believe that every Christian should serve as a street pastor for at least 2 years within the community. Going out there with absolutely no agenda. The only thing I have in my heart is the love of Jesus.
People seek refuge for many different reasons. Often people flee with nothing. They'll get in a car, they'll try and get over the border, and then they'll try and make their way here. They're coming with a lot of sadness and trauma into a new place where they don't speak the language. So I think even more than physical things, having somebody here who actually arrives and welcomes them can just mean a huge amount. Welcome Box is a really practical way for local churches to help provide welcome and friendship to refugees. Those welcome boxes provide a few practical things, but more importantly, it's about being able to knock on someone's door and say, I'll be a friend and walk with you.
Hello. Hello. We're from Welcome Boxes.
They might need help with registering with the local doctor. They might need help in finding an English class.
You? I'm fine. I'm very well, thank you.
What we often do is link people in with other church projects that can provide food and clothes.
For 1 kilogram. Yeah.
For the local church to run welcome boxes, what they do is they send someone on a one-day training where they learn how to find the families who need the boxes, and we also show them how to train their volunteers. All you need to be able to do is to smile and be friendly to someone who's arrived from another country. The local church is really well placed to welcome refugees and asylum seekers, providing friendship, care, support.
Here's a gift from us to you.
Oh, thank you. My vision is that the local church would say that we're going to be the people that welcome the stranger. I think that's what we're called to do as Christians.
For many young people in our cities and in our towns and our villages, they've been written off. But it may be mum and dad are split up. There may be dyslexia, there may be bullying going on. But you know what? If they don't get any help, they're going to fall out of education. And I think what we want to do through Excel Mentoring is saying that is not acceptable.
Hey! Hey! How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
It's a coming alongside them. It's not about parachuting into their lives for a couple of weeks and disappearing again. It's about saying, we want to do this with you.
That's so cute. Aww. Show me.
Excel Mentoring is about equipping the local church to run their own sustainable mentoring program in their community.
Yeah.
The whole mentoring process is based around the child. So if the child is struggling with their academic work, then actually what the mentor does is help them with their homework.
And here you've got like y plus 2, y minus 1 equals...
If they're struggling with low self-esteem, then actually the mentor sometimes takes them to the gym or goes to the hairdressers and talks about that issue.
So, tell me, how's school? Good.
Yeah.
I've got an achievement.
You got an achievement?
So the whole idea is this isn't one size fits all. This is based around the needs of the child.
When you have somebody like a mentor who comes in and actually starts to support them, then that just makes a dramatic difference.
We want to encourage churches to find 5 people in your church that can give 2 hours a week for 12 months. We will train you, we will give away everything we've learned about mentoring for the last 18 years, but then it's your mentoring program.
Thanks, you too. Yeah.
The local church in the local community reaching out to vulnerable young people.
I will see you soon. Be in touch.
Right.